Al-Salam, Queen of Queens, Phoenix Ramadan, Ella Jackson, back in the light of Brazeera Cyber Network. Tonight's Scorpio full moonlight video conversation on Jackson Green Arc is regarding Venus, the morning and evening star. Okay? So, Easter, after we went through Easter, right? So we're going to, Easter represents, okay, the rebirth of the sun, right? The soul, the heart consciousness, the Christ consciousness, right? The higher consciousness. Okay, so Easter was about entering the beginning stage of the transformation, okay, of being resurrected, being born again, right? Okay, of the baby son or the baby soul, the soul, okay, the resurrection of the soul, okay? At the spring equinox, which is considered Aries or Ra, okay? Now, Taurus at the Pleiades, okay, on April 20th is when Easter actually took place, or, I think it's the second Sunday of the week. I'm not certain. But it's always in Taurus. The Easter is always in Taurus, okay? And Taurus represents the Pleiades, right? The seven sisters, which represent the transformation. As I said, the resurrection represents the transformation of the consciousness, okay? And also the collective consciousness, right? So, Taurus represents the seven sisters of the Pleiades, and the Pleiades represent higher consciousness, okay? Taurus is the seven sisters of the Pleiades, also known as the planet, from the planet Kima, or as the Egyptians would have probably called it, Kemet, probably where they get the name for what was Egypt. What was Kemet is now Egypt, right? Okay, so as it refers to cosmetic reflect, the opening of the door or the third to the third eye, right? Because the consciousness from the heart leads to the higher consciousness, right? Okay, so so it's the opening of the door, opening the third eye. That man's or may resume his higher self, or may assume his higher self, okay? Become the best he can possibly be, okay? And as I said, the third eye is the crown chakra, and he can obtain redemption by climbing the cosmic mountain or the diamond staircase. That will be the diamond staircase would be the 12, the constellations would be the diamonds in the sky, right? The diamond staircase, right? The 12 constellations have to reflect the zodiac signs, right? Okay. So got to go through all signs, right? All houses, right? And become one with the consciousness of those houses, right? Okay. And then once he receives the consciousness, he obtains redemption and salvation, okay, occurs, and forgiveness, right? For any deed or action done in childhood, because now he separates the child from the man, right? As was said in the Bible, all child things are put away, right? And as he enters manhood, right? Okay. So, as he transitions from child consciousness to receive the greater consciousness and become the man he was destined to become, known as manhood, right? So, what did they used to call that? They had a ritual in many cultures where, there was some type of a ceremony that the boys would go through to transition them from childhood or child into to become a man, right? Or into adulthood. Okay. So resurrected, the resurrected baby, the resurrected consciousness, which is considered a baby or an egg, that's why it's Easter, right? is delivered at the spring equinox. The egg cracks, right, at Easter, right? That's what Easter represents, the egg cracking, opening up the consciousness, opening up to be reborn, right? From the womb, the universal womb, which represents the egg of the Holy Black Mother of Kemet, or Africa. The star seed, or baby, grows through the celestial sphere to meet his divine Black Mother, okay? Ra Madam, okay? Ra, there's a spring equinox. Ra would be considered Aries, right? Ra Madam, Ra Madan, right? Okay, so he grows to meet his mother on Queen's Day, right? And Queen's Day is Mother's Day, right? She receives that child, that baby, okay? Gemini is the celestial transition day point. Okay, is that in Gemini? No. Mother's Day is in Taurus too. Okay, the Pleiades, right? Okay, so Gemini is the celestial transition day or point from childhood into manhood, right? The graduation point. Gemini is graduation time. So first, the egg is born. I mean, the egg is not hatched, but the egg is laid, right, at the spring equinox. It's born, right? Then Easter, the egg cracks. Then on Mother's Day, the hatched baby or soul meets his mother, right? On Mother's Day or Queen's Day, right? And Gemini, through going through learning the lessons and all this time, learning the lesson, okay? The higher consciousness, right? Then that's the time where he begins in Gemini. It's graduation time, okay? As graduations usually take place in Gemini. Gemini in June. I want to say, Jazakallah here, Abdullah. Thank you for the roses. I love roses, beautiful, beautiful roses. That was very kind of you to think of me on your birthday. I do appreciate it, sweetheart. Rabina Fazik. And Jazakallah here. I love you so much, sweetheart. So much. And to you, Abdullah. Okay, so as we said, Gemini is graduation time, which is followed by Father's Day, right? Because the boy becomes a man. First at the equinox, he's born, he's laid, right? An egg. Then on Easter, the egg cracks, right? On Mother's Day, he meets his mother, and he learns and grows, right, for the final exam. Then what does he do? He graduates in June. And when he graduates, right, he's becoming a man. Okay, he's getting ready to intercourse. That is for the test with mother. He's going to intercourse, right? And then that's Independence Day, after he intercourses with the great mother. Okay. And the great mother, when he intercourses with the great mother, on what? At the summer solstice, right? The hottest time of the year, Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month on the Islamic calendar. It reflects the hottest season of the hottest month of the year. Okay, that's what Ramadan means. It means it's the hottest month on the Islamic calendar of the year. Okay, the summer solstice represents the hottest point in on the Gregorian calendar. The summer solstice represents the hottest point of the year. Right, represents summer. Okay, so and that's when the intercourse takes place. Right, the hottest time of the year. Okay, and he graduates, right, and well, he makes, after he graduates, he intercourse and he makes his transition. He's a man, right? He's a man. He's a king. Okay, he becomes king. Okay. Okay. Now, once he becomes king, right, after the intercourse. After he learns his lessons, right? Okay, from the at the summer solstice, yeah. He becomes a man. Okay, the summer solstice. In the summer solstice intercourse is followed by fireworks, right? a meteorite shower. Usually there's literally a meteorite shower at that time, as reflected by what? The 4th of July, right? It also represents what? Independence Day. Something very important to notice, though. Okay, now there's a place in California, here in California, it's called Bohemian Grove. Now they get together in July, right? The hottest time of the year, right? And what do? They also intercourse, right? And only men are allowed, right? So they get together and they intercourse with one another. Okay, literally intercourse, right? And they have their little, what do they have? Their sacrifices, and some say they're real human sacrifices, some say they're mock sacrifices. But the point is, they have their little sacrifices, and they have their sexual intercourse, because it's a lot of stated that a lot of heads of states go there, and they intercourse. And why do they do that? They do that because the sun is closest to the earth, right? So they program all that negative energy into the sun, right? Because what happens? The universe absorbs the energy that that everything releases, right? So that's programmed to the sun. And then, like karma, we, or humanity, life observes that karma that was released, that was placed into the sun, right? And whatever, whatever energy that, is reabsorbed by humanity, that would be karma, right? And so it would have effect on humanity. It would have an effect on those newborn babies, and that's why you have an increase of homosexuality. Now, I'm talking about homosexuality. It needs to be talked about. Homosexuality needs to be talked about, and one day I'm going to do a video about homosexuality. Okay, but this is not a homosexual bashing conversation, because I do believe many individuals are born that way, because the Vatican programs that energy into the universe. So many of the fetus, but what's it called? The embryo, being very sensitive to energy, it's absorbing that energy that the mother's absorbing, and the energy itself. So if that energy is in the universe, in the environment, then that embryo is going to absorb that energy, okay, and it's going to take on that personality. So it's not a homosexual bashing video. However, as I said, one day I'm going to do a video on homosexuality. So they do that intentionally to program that energy into the sun when it's at the most closest. Just like they do those false flags. I'm only speaking of this to demonstrate how they attempt to do activities to influence the celestial sphere. Thus, the energy that the celestial sphere releases back to the karma, the celestial sphere releases back, does affect humanity. Okay? So it's not to bash homosexuals. However, it is to state how, humanity does get programmed, okay, intentionally, because, it's the Vatican. The Vatican, yes, but those Babylonians, right? Those Zionists, who still adhere to the Babylonian spirituality. Homosexuality is a practice of theirs. This is not to say that the LGBT community is out to get humanity. No, they're not. So this is not to bash the LGBT community. It's to bash the Vatican, okay, who's trying to bash humanity with their Babylonian homosexual, spirituality, to program all of us, okay, to program everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. It has nothing to do with the LGBT community. The LGBT community just wants to get along and live. But the Vatican, on the other hand, that is the culprit that tries to the Zionists, okay, the Gentile, barbarian, Rothschild, Babylonian, Khazar, Vatican, and it's British, Israeli convert, Synagogue of Satan, is the one that is attempting to program all humanity, right? And those are the ones that go to places like Bohemian Grove and do these behaviors and try to attempt program the sun when it's closest. That is why it's very important when this summer solstice occurs, that humanity really, really loves one another. Okay, love one another. Okay, be kind to one another. We gotta program good energy into the sun, okay? So that good energy will come back to us. Love will come back to us. We got to program love into the universe, and by way of the sun and the moon, right? Because that's what when they do those false flags, when the moon is full or new moon, so that the energies release will be programmed into the moon, and then that moonlight will shine on all humanity, and the energy that they program will be absorbed by humanity and have the effect they wanted to have on humanity, which is usually war mongering consciousness, war mongering behavior. Okay, so we got to program, emit positive energy, energy that we want to receive, like they say, be the change you want to see in the world, the man in the mirror. Okay. So the divine intercourse of the Ramadan or summer solstice is followed by the next divine intercourse with the Holy. Okay, let me get this straight. Okay, where am I at? Okay, we did that. Okay. Yeah, we said that it's the summer solstice intercourse. It's followed by fireworks of meteorites. And that happens in the celestial sphere, right? As is reflected on Earth above as above, so below, right? So the meteorites happen at the summer solstice on the cosmos, and likewise they have the fireworks on Earth, right? Which why everybody goes and doesn't really know why, other than thinking it's just Independence Day when America was established. Okay, it's greater than that. It has greater significance than that. Okay, so the divine intercourse at the summer solstice is followed by the next divine intercourse with the Holy Celestial Mother at the autumnal equinox. Okay, at Libra. And Libra represents Venus, right? Okay, so when Venus is at the spring equinox, okay, that's when she's the morning star rising, okay. That's when it's considered the morning star, okay. To be the holy mother, right? To intercourse with the Holy Father, the King, right? Apollo, right? Okay. Which is the sun, the soul, right? Okay. So Venus rises. That's the morning star from Ra, or Ramadan, right? So she rises, and then that was the spring equinox. Then intercourse takes place at the summer solstice, right? When the sun is closest to the earth and it's hottest, right? Okay, the hottest season. Okay, then she intercourses, right? Then at the autumnal equinox, that's when she becomes the fallen woman, right? Because now she's pregnant, right? Has the child at the equinox, right? The fall equinox, right? and then she becomes a fallen woman. And who does she fall in the arms of? Mars, right? Falls in the arms of Mars because what? Mars is Scorpio, right? Mars is Scorpio, right after Libra, right? Right after Venus, right? So Venus falls into the arms of Mars. Mars is the reptilian, right? The scorpion, right? And then that's when she's supposed to have mated with the reptilian, right? And the fallen woman, because she's supposed to be a good woman, right? She's supposed to only mate with the sun, with Sol, right? The king, right? Apollo, right? Okay, so, but now that's where what the cheating comes in, right? Because she's cheating with Mars, right? And they're supposed to have a baby, right? Cupid, right? Cupid of love, right? A love child, right? They have a love child, Cupid, right? Okay, but anyway, she becomes a fallen woman, a harlot, a whore. The whore of what? The whore of Babylon, right? And she mating with, okay, now so she mated with Mars, right? Because she fell in the arm of Mars, right? But nonetheless, Saturn, well, we won't go to Saturn yet, okay? We'll stay at the autumn equinox, and that celebration is followed by what? Halloween, right? Because all those scary things come out. The dead, right? Because she's entered the realm of the dead, right? Right. So all the dead comes to life, right? Okay. When she becomes a fallen woman, right, at the autumnal equinox and falls in the arms of Mars, okay, so Venus, that's where and that's where Venus, the autumn equinox is also where she sows the seeds, right, buries the seeds, right, or has the seeds, right, and the process starts all over again, right where she's to rise, but we won't go there yet. We're still ahead of the story. Okay, but the universe is indeed about a love story. This is a true love story that's reflected in the universe. However, the way I'm speaking of this retelling of this love story is from the Babylonian perspective of the fallen woman. Okay, in the true sense of the word, it's not about the fallen woman. It's about Venus. Okay, a woman growing from a girl to a woman. And how does she become a woman? She becomes a wife and a mother, right? A wife and a mother as she rises, right? She becomes a mother after she intercourses with the son, right? That would be the Holy Mother, right? Then she has the baby, right? Okay, so if she's a wife and a mother, right? So when she's a fallen woman, that's when she's a wife. Her virginity has been taken, but that doesn't make her a bad woman. And Mars represents the man after he's married, right? So that would be the fallen woman, and Mars would represent the husband and wife, right? And their nightlife, right? As they have their nightlife, right? Okay. But that's the true sense of the way it's supposed to be seen, as it reflects the unmarried woman, then the mother by day, and a wife by night, if you know what I mean. A wife under the cover, behind the veil, right? And that represents the son or the father, the Holy Father, not Allah, not God, but the Holy Father, right? But the Father of the universe as it relates to the Son, right? Okay, so the Father shines on the universe, all the children, right? All that, all life, right? So he provides all, for the universe, right? Okay, now, but at night, right, he reflects, the husband, right? During the day, he's the father. At night, he's the husband. During the day, she's the mother. During the night, she's the wife. Okay? Behind the veil, they take care of business, if you know what I mean, right? Okay, so that's how the Venus, rising, the morning star, reflective of the mother, and Venus, the evening star, reflective of the wife. The sun, during the day, as he shines his light on all humanity, then the sun at night, represented by Mars, as it's just he and his wife. Venus, the evening star, his evening star. Okay? Okay. So, behind the veil, under the cover, right? Under the cover of night is where they take care of business, right? Okay. Okay. So that's the pure sense of the word, but as it's told by the Babylonian perspective, it's corrupted. The woman at night represents the whore. The father at night represents the warmonger, right? Because what? The war between the sexes, right? And they say the war starts in bed, right? Okay, but that's just not the case. The gender war, right? Okay, and it starts in bed, right? For control, right? Okay, so that's the Babylonian perspective. Okay, but the true perspective of it is Venus at night with her husband as reflected by Mars, and Venus during the day, a mother as is reflected by her, conceiving the child, the holy child, right? Okay, and then the seed is delivered at the autumn equinox, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, okay. So now we said, okay. So at Libra, the seed is sown. Okay. Okay. Now it's planted, or it's actually sown. It's not planted. Well, it is. It's considered to be planted, but it's delivered, right? Okay. Okay. So, and that also reflective of right? The autumn equinox is where Revelation 12 is to take place, right? On September 23rd, Muharram 3rd, 1439 on the Islamic calendar, and September 23rd, 2017 on the Christian or Gregorian calendar, right? That would be the autumn equinox, right after the autumn equinox, because the autumn equinox, I believe, starts September 21st. Okay? So, and that would represent the baby born, right? Okay. 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 Now, okay. Okay. Now, and that would be at Libra. That would be in the house of Venus, right? The constellation of Venus, right? Or the constellation of Libra, which is the realm or the sphere of Venus, okay? Okay. Now, that's where she has her has the baby, right? Okay. Now, and okay. Now, okay. Now let me see. Okay. So, okay. 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 I think I'm doing. Okay. Okay. So now, okay. And that's what we said, and that's when Halloween is. When she becomes a fallen woman, what do we have? The spirits come out, right? Halloween. Okay, when she becomes a fallen woman. Halloween is like represents what? PMS, right? For the woman when she changes, right? Okay, because what? She becomes a bitch when she's a fallen woman, right? When she reflects a fallen woman, she becomes like a witch or a bitch, right? Okay, the two faces of Venus, and that also, the Venus, the evening star, Venus, the falling star, represents the represents the two faces of Venus, right? The mother, that's one face of Venus, and the wife, that's the other side of Venus. Venus, this morning star, would be the mother, one side face of Venus, and Venus, the fallen, the wife, okay, would be the other side of Venus. So she's a wife and mother. That's two faces of Venus. Okay. Now, okay. So, okay. Now there's another side to this story too, but I'm not going to go there right now. Okay. 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 So Halloween it comes after the according to the Babylonian perspective, right? And they do celebrate, Halloween is celebrated, right? Because after the fallen woman, all the is celebrated by Halloween, right? To reflect the duality of the divine celestial black mother, right? Okay, because what Easter represents the rising star, right? Easter, the rebirth, right? The resurrection, and Halloween represents the death, right? The fallen woman, right? Okay. So the rising one according to Babylonian perspective, one represents life, the resurrection, the spring equinox. The autumnal equinox represents the death, right? The fall of the woman, right? Okay. The planting, or the, I just leave it at that, the fallen woman, okay? Now, but actually I have another perspective of this, okay? And that is, once the child is, let's say the child is conceived at Cancer, okay? At this, what is that? It's the summer solstice, right? That would be, okay, the child is conceived. Then we go to the autumnal equinox. That would be the first trimester, the second trimester. Okay, going from one, it's got 3 trimesters. The first trimester would be from the summer solstice to the autumn equinox. That will be the first trimester. Second trimester would be from the autumn equinox to the winter solstice. That will be 2 trimesters. Third trimester, where the baby's born, new baby's born, would be the spring equinox, and that will be the rebirth, right? So that's how it's supposed to go, okay? Because the first trimester starts at Cancer. Second trimester starts at autumn equinox. Third trimester starts at first trimester starts at autumn equinox. Second trimester starts at the winter solstice. Third trimester, where the baby's born, starts at the spring equinox, and simultaneously the resurrection, right? And that will be Taurus, right? Okay. Or Easter, okay? The giving birth, right? Okay. The cracking of the egg, the consciousness, right? Okay. So that's what it's supposed to mean, right? Okay. Okay. But the way it's being told is the conception, the planting of the seed, and then the dying, the death, right? Okay. And the death would be what? The death would be the fall of the woman, right? And then Halloween represents the underworld, right? The ride, it almost like being the it would be the souls rising. That would be like let's go to video